guys, it's Brett Sampson with Berkshire Lending. Again, I just wanted to do a quick video for you this morning to show you how a no-cost refinance works. I'm going to minimize my big bald head and put it in the corner so you can see what I'm talking about here. And also, my camera's here, but my big screen is here, so I'm going to look at my big screen. All right, so there's a few ways to do no-cost refinances, but I'm going to go over the way that I think is the smartest way to do it and show you how it works. So in this example, we have, I just created a sample file, right? Conventional loan, primary residence, refinance, limited cash out, which means you can roll in a tiny bit of maybe prepaids or, but you can't get cash out. First mortgage position, 2.5% interest rate, 30-year fixed mortgage with a $500,000 valuation on the house. I've got $100 in there for insurance, and we're in Texas, so our taxes are a little bit higher here because there's no state income tax. They use the county property taxes to pay for schools and police and stuff like that, right? So $900 for taxes. So I created two scenarios, one with just a refinance. Here, I'll show you. I did two fee worksheets. Now, I'm going to do this video off of these fee worksheets. If I was sending out data to a client, I would send it as a loan estimate. But the loan estimate is a 3 or 4 page document, and at first glance, it can be confusing for a client. So this is simpler. It's all on one page. It's the same numbers as a loan estimate, right? All right, so in this example, we've got a $399 loan amount, and the interest rate is 2.5% on a 30-year amortization, right? So when I create a fee worksheet or a loan estimate, I anticipate fees from all parties, not just the mortgage company. You've got underwriting, doc prep, and then appraisal here. Processing, and then from here down to here are estimated title fees going to the title company, including the title policy. Most states, their Department of Insurance has a index, or they'll tell title companies kind of what they can charge for their title insurance. And then you have your prepaids, which let me talk briefly about your prepaid. So when you pay off a loan, in this example, I'm just assuming where the borrower wants a escrow account. So when you pay off a loan that has an escrow account currently, you're going to get a check in the mail 2-3 weeks after you pay that loan off for the balance of whatever your current escrow balance was in that account. So as the year goes along, you're going to probably have several $1,000s in that account, depending on the price of your home and the state you live in. So when I do a no-cost refi, typically I do not include the prepaid taxes and insurance going into the new escrow account, because when you get that check, you can put it back towards this loan to wash out the new collection, and then, I'm paying for your closing costs, so technically it's kind of a free refinance, right? Now, it is possible to raise the loan amount and just throw all the taxes and insurance into the loan amount as well, and then pay it down when you get your check from your current escrow balance. But then your payments are cast on that higher balance. I think it's better to cast your payments on a lower balance, and that way you're paying the lower payment from then on instead of that little bit higher payment. All right, so let's go through this. These are the costs here. In this particular example, we're just rolling everything into the loan. We're not paying for anything, right? So you got the loan amount. Okay, somebody's calling me. Hold on just a sec. Okay, sorry about that. So in this example, I'm rolling everything into the loan. They're getting a new loan. Their payoff is $385, and we're getting a new loan, and we're rolling in these closing costs and the taxes and insurance. Okay, so here's your payment estimate, $25.95, and again, I'm just kind of making up and guessing taxes and insurance here, and the interest rate is 2.5%. So let's look at this other example. In this example, the rate is gone up modestly, a quarter point, right? I'm giving a credit of almost $6,000 to pay for the closing costs. So we go down through here, all these fees are identical. Everything's the same except for, well, yeah, that's the same too. So now the loan amount is less, right? Because the previous loan amount was $399. This one is $393 and some change. So the closing costs are basically close to zero. I could have played with it and got it to zero, but you get the idea. And again, I'm rolling in the prepaids in this example, but like I said, when you get that check from your current loan, assuming you have an escrow account, you can put it back towards this loan and it will wash out almost completely this collection, because here we are in late July. So the way we calculate how much reserves we need to put into your tax account or your escrow account is we start in January with 3 months of taxes, and then as each month goes by, we add a month. So here we are, we're doing 9 months of taxes, and that's so when the bill comes out in November, there's enough money to pay that bill for those taxes. So that's why we have to do that. But you can see here the payment is wow, I wonder why I didn't calculate that all the way. But let's just focus on the principal and interest, right? $1,607 to $1,579. So what's that? $21, $28 difference a month to save $6,000 in costs. The rate is only a quarter point difference, but in this example, I'm paying their closing costs. So what's happened here? They're refinancing, assuming their rate was higher than this. They wouldn't refinance if it wasn't. Down to a still very low rate of 2 3/4, 30-year fixed amortization. And it's not costing them any closing costs at all, really. And the only, like I said, it'll be a wash on the prepaids. So really, they're dropping their rate, and they're really not having to pay anything, because you're going to pay your taxes and insurance whether you refinance or not, right? So that is kind of how a no-cost refi works. At least that's the smartest way to do it, in my opinion. I could go ahead and pay for everything and pay for these taxes and insurance also through the rate. So the rate might go to 3%. But in my opinion, that's just not a smart way to do it, because you're going to be paying that 3% rate for years to come, right? And now you're paying 2 3/4. And as soon as you get the check from your current escrow account, you're gonna put it back towards this loan to wash this out, and then you can roll with that lower interest rate for the remainder of the loan, right? All right, so that's how it works. I won't dwell and dive down into it anymore, because that's pretty much how it works. It's a slightly higher interest rate. I take the yield spread that I get, or the SRP, and I pay your closing costs with that. But it's still a low rate. So ask your loan officer about that. And if you live in Texas, our contact data is at the end of this video, so you can just ask us for some numbers in your example. Okay? All right. You guys have a good day. Thank you.